Baby's good to me, you know she's happy as can be.
When she sat in front of the camera with her haircut and her painted eyelashes, as I looked through the camera, I turned my head to the hairdresser in attendance at the time and I said, wow.
She's mine, you know she tells me all the time, you know she said so.
She really honestly always thinks that she always goes, oh, I'm funny looking, I'm not gorgeous. And that's such a funny thing to see from such a beautiful woman who doesn't realise. And it is difficult to have a beautiful icon as your mum.
The camera loved her, you know. I mean, well, that's why she was a great star in every issue of Vogue and Harper's in the 60s, you know. It wasn't for nothing that she was the most photographed girl in the world.
It was the look that helped define an already dazzling decade, and it belonged to a girl from North London whose life couldn't have been more ordinary, more kitchen sink. Cameras slavishly followed her. She was the original reality observational queen.
In the kitchen of 93 St Raphael's Way, Neasden, Leslie Hornby, who's 17, has breakfast with her boyfriend Nigel Davis, who's 27, while Mum has a cuppa.
Watch films.
They've got a home movie thing.
Lovely.
What, one that moves?
Yes, all colours, you know.
What did they show you? Where they've been on holiday?
Well, they've been on holiday, and, you know, it's very nice.
Oh. Do I know her, Auntie Jessie?
No, I don't think so. She knows Vivian, but she doesn't know you.
Everything which was about to happen owed so much to luck, even what Leslie was to become known as.
She came into my studio early in 1966, accompanied by her boyfriend. And as she was walking around the studio examining my equipment and the pictures on the walls, her boyfriend said to her, "Stop biting your nails, Twigs." And I asked him, "What did you call her?" He said, "Twigs, Twiggy, because she's so thin." And I said, "Well, if you become professional, use that name."
It was the haircut and a novel way of applying eye makeup which was to jettison the 16-year-old sales assistant straight to stardom.
She'd had her hair cut into a boyish cut. The previous day her hair was long and scraggly, and she'd painted eyelashes on her face, which was rare at the time and was something peculiar only to her. She sat in front of the camera and I was dazzled by what this photogenic quality is. I've never been able to define it. It's something that occurs between the subject and the camera, and she projected this. And the photographs we took were really quite dazzling. And these photographs later were displayed in the hairdresser's salon, which were then seen by the journalist Deirdre McSharry, who used the photographs in an article proposing her as the face of 1966.
The ordinary girl needed her dad's okay before her career could begin.
I had to get his permission to leave school because I was literally 16 and a half. And he was great, my dad, because he was from Bolton, Lancashire, so he was ever so sensible and very straight. And he said, I'm going to let you do it because if I say no, you could end up hating me for the rest of your life. I wouldn't have done. Well, I might have done, I suppose. And he said, I think you might be making a mistake. Because, you know, it could have all been one thing in the paper 3 months later and I'd have been 16 and a half, no education, you know, no further education. But he was brilliant, my dad. He knew I wanted it and he said yes.
Britain was changing. Twiggy's unique, skinny, understated appearance provided designers with the chance to fashion a completely new look for women.
And she was so young as well, and to handle all that, to travel around. She'd never been away from her mum, and mum or dad, and it used to really upset her, but she was really strong and very grown up about it all, but yet retained a kind of innocence as well at the same time. And she made all the makeup she used to put on, she copied from a doll that she had, and she made up the idea of putting 3 layers of eyelashes on and all on the bottom and the haircut. She almost kind of looked like a little boy in a way with her haircut, and she was so skinny. But she just looked amazing in all those clothes that never had been thought of before, and mini skirts, and really, I'm just proud. It's so amazing to have someone who has so many stories and such an amazing experience that no one ever will or have again.
Ironically, the girl herself had a hang-up about her looks.
Well, I was so skinny. I hate it. I never got boyfriends back then because I was so skinny. They went for all the voluptuous girls. But so I always thought I was, I was funny looking. And so when it all happened, I actually thought they'd all gone mad. First trip to New York did get a bit scary. I couldn't go out. People, they didn't want to hurt me. They just wanted to come up and touch me. You know, I was 6.5 stone. And there was one instance coming out of a department store where we were doing photographs, and I was meant to come through the door with bags, and the photographer was down on the end of the curb, and he said, just walk towards the curb. We had the limo waiting, and he said, if a crowd comes, we'll do 6 shots in the limo and we're away. So I got to the front of the store, and there were already loads and loads of people there, and they were doing a documentary on me. And as we got to the swing door, there were 2 policemen, and I heard one say to the other, we're never going to hold them back, Joel. And this was the policeman, and I just started to scream, because I do tend to go to panic.
Twiggy was huge. Everyone wanted to be pictured with her. Her talent had so far been managed by her boyfriend, Nigel Davis, who changed his name to Justin de Villeneuve. He was taking 50% of everything she earned.
I mean, obviously, when I was very young, there were people who did take advantage. But it would be very hard to make me do something I didn't want to do, very hard. So, you know, I was really fortunate because that break into the modelling, I only modelled for 4 years, remember?
Just as quickly as her look appeared, Twiggy wanted it to disappear. She could do more than apply makeup. She could sing. She could dance.
It's like going into a whole new world.
The bosom is back. Do you feel perhaps you can't compete?
But the bosom's never been out, really. I mean, that would mean that women have been out, which is ridiculous.
Movie directors were keeping an eye on her too. She was one of the best-known faces in the world, and she was an easy person to like.
Everyone's heard of Twiggy, and especially, I think, in the 60s, you know, when she was, as I said before, on every page of, you know, every fashion magazine that was issued weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever, she was there. And she was so attractive and likeable. You knew, even if you'd never met her, you knew she wouldn't be snooty and, you know, like a lot of models are, and toffee-nosed. You know, she's down-to-earth girl and would receive compliments in the street with gratitude and sort of humility and always have a kind word for someone. She's a great girl.
The great girl, 4 years after inventing a unique modelling style and look, wanted to move into movies. The 60s was about to end, and a second version of Twiggy was about to be born. The man who'd captured her first image always knew she'd leave photographic modelling eventually.
Fame is a manufactured result. And in Twiggy's case, as much as there was media manufacturing of her, she did possess the ability to carry her fame. She later became an actress. She was in musicals on Broadway. She made a Coca-Cola commercial. She did have an ability to be a performer, and modelling was part of it.
The waif and strafe look had catapulted Leslie Hornby to stardom. Now it was time to exploit other talents. But whilst she wanted to act and sing, it meant a leap of faith for others.
I had great faith in Twiggy. I just knew she had tremendous drive and energy, and if she set herself a task, she wouldn't set it if she felt she couldn't achieve it.
She captured my heart entirely.
It was the laugh. I thought, God, anyone that laughs like that has got to be just fine, because the only other woman I know that laughs like that, I married.
It's wonderful.